In this video, I'm going to show you the hidden cost of playing small, not just in your career, but in how you show up in your relationships, your confidence, and your ability to fully express the life that's calling you. And I will give you three things you need to learn in order to break it. That's super important because here's the truth. Playing small does not protect you. It's keeping you stuck. And the biggest problem with this, you don't even realize you're doing it. You've convinced yourself you're just being humble, that you're waiting for the right time, that you're being patient, or my favorite, that you're just being realistic, that you need to be more prepared, more polished, more proven. But what you're actually doing is negotiating against your own brilliance. And the longer you stay in that loop, the more it will cost you. Opportunities, visibility, energy, self-trust. It will cost you results. And dare I say, it costs you happiness. It's a slow erosion of self-worth masked as being realistic. Smiling, performing, but not fully showing up. And I get it because I've been there. There was a time where I was literally on stage in front of thousands, performing, smiling, giving it everything, and still hiding, still holding back. Because some part of me believed if they see all of me, it might be too much, or worse, it might not be enough. And here's the wild thing. And I can't believe I'm actually saying this. I'm back in that space again right now. I told you I'm creating my new Beyond Success program. Well, it's actually ready. And now that it's time to bring it to the world, guess who shows up again? The monkey mind, the inner saboteur, all the old stories whispering, what if people don't get it? What if it's too much? What if I'm too much? But it's normal for this stuff to show up. Nowadays, I actually see it as a clear sign that I'm moving in the right direction, that I'm leveling up. Otherwise, the monkeys wouldn't be screaming at me like that, trying to protect me. However, the question is, how do you deal with it? So, if you're in it too, trust me, I see you. But what gives me the right to make a video about this? Well, first of all, I lived it. As a performer, I danced, I sang, I acted across some of the biggest stages while quietly battling with self-doubt and perfectionism the entire time. And for the past 15 years, I've now coached high performers, artists, CEOs, athletes, who all had one thing in common. They were still playing below their potential. Yes, even the big names, even the big players, not because they weren't capable, of course they were capable, but because deep down, some part of them didn't believe it was safe to take up that next bit of space. So if this is landing for you, here are three things I want you to learn, and I will give you an example after so it's easier to implement. You need to learn to see where you're playing small. Most people are blind to it. It hides in language like, I'm just helping. It's no big deal, or I'm not ready yet. You have to become radically honest about where you're doing it. Then, secondly, you need to understand what part of you is being protected by playing small. And this is crucial. I cannot stress this enough. Every time you stay invisible, part of you gets to avoid something. Let it be judgment, rejection, responsibility. And until you name that fear, it will keep running the show. And then the third part is you need to start aligning with the identity of you who doesn't shrink. Not performative confidence, to say it in big words, or simply not faking it, but the identity that knows I can be powerful and grounded. It's safe to be visible and real, successful and soft. So let me give you an example. It reminds me of a footballer I worked with. He was playing at a very, very high level. And yet, in certain matches, when he was sitting on the bench, instead of waiting to be put into the game, he was secretly hoping not to be. Sounds crazy, right? But only until we look deeper. And I've seen quite a few variations of this over the year in all kinds of jobs and careers. So at first, this athlete, he didn't even realize he was doing it. That's the power of hidden sabotage. And to have the courage to look at what is really going on, boy, Can that accelerate your success? When we unpacked it together, though, we discovered a deeper conflict. That person wanted to perform, but feared deep down what it might cost. Would he fail? Would he be judged? Would he have to abandon parts of himself to be aggressive enough? And then he said something that changed everything. He said, it's almost like I thought I had to choose between being a great footballer or being a good person. Now, here that doesn't make any sense, right? But here in the heart, it pulled on his core values. And unexplored, it will keep calling the shots. And as I always say, the moment you have the insight, no further work is needed. The moment he consciously realized he could be both, his game changed, his energy shifted, his results soared even more. Once it was clear to the system what it was trying to protect him from, and that consciously it made no sense, well, the whole thing simply collapsed. Because that's what happens when you break the loop and align with your true identity, not the one shaped by old fears or beliefs and patterns. And if this video hits home for you, here's what I want you to do next. Go watch the other videos in this series. It's so important to understand the full scope of this. I will put the first one here and the second one here. And of course, this is the third one. But before you do that, head over to my website and sign up to my newsletter where I'll send you practical, powerful tools to help you move from stress to inner peace and onto your next level. And of course, I will put a link to it in the description below. This isn't just about more motivation, it's about your true identity. One where you don't just succeed, but where you feel worthy of the success. Because you're not here to become someone else, you're here to become more you.